Hello and welcome to another episode of This is Australia. And guess what? Where are we again? Yes, you guessed it. Back in the kitchen. I can't help myself, I just love the food. Yeah. But the thing is, there's a lot of important things that we need to cover. And today we have something really exciting, something really important, and it's good for our health. And that is honey. But before we go into the subject of honey, let's have a look at some previous things that we have done. Like, for example, I got a good one for you. Which is the best way to lose 2,000 calories? Last night, I lost 2,000 calories. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, because I actually burned the pizza. Well, I didn't eat the pizza, so I didn't eat 2,000 calories, didn't I? Oh, the other good one. Remember, I think we did it in another episode, and that was the balanced diet. What is the best balanced diet? Have a look at that. So I went to a specialist and I said, I want advice. I want to lose weight. And you know what she said to me? You have to be careful. You have to have a balanced diet. So I follow her advice. I come here to Giradico now, and I have my balanced diet. My balanced diet is €1 on its hand. Balanced diet. €1 on its hand. And remember, we did an episode about horta and vegetables, like the green vegetables like that one, and a lot of green stuff like that. And remember what we said, the juice. Now look at this. I keep my juice separate. And I know it's very bitter and a lot of people don't like it. You know what the best thing to do? Put it in a smoothie, and that way you can put a lot of other stuff in it, and you still get all the goodness out of this, which is incredible. It's good for a lot of things. These juices or the wild vegetables or any greens. Any greens are good for you. Okay, the next thing that we looked at is this. When you eat the lotus, the fruit of the gods, it has to be very soft. Can you see that? It's all ripe, it's all very soft. Now that's how you eat it. Look at that. That's ready to eat. Just cut it right in the middle like that. And then you use your spoon to eat it. Now you're talking. Look at that. Yeah, beautiful. The fruit of the gods, lotus or persimmon. It's one of the best fruits that you can have. So when it's in season, make sure you get that fruit. It's really good for you. And then the next thing we looked at was the Greek salad. Now, a lot of the young Greeks, they just said to me, but that's not the way with the Greek salad. Yes, you don't eat it like that because you're used to the tourist Greek salad. But we at home, the older people like me, we eat it separately. And you know why? Because we don't want to just take the feta together to mix it up with everything, or the olives, because if you don't eat it all, you don't want to waste it. And that's why you just take one little piece that you need for yourself, and that's how it's all separate. That's how we eat the Greek salad at home, in most Greek houses, of course. But now it's time to go to our next subject. And our next subject is honey. Now, honey. It's probably one of the best foods that you can have. And you know something? It's probably the only one that never expires. Have a look at this.
Archaeologists have found pots of honey in ancient Greek and Egyptian tombs, and also in shipwrecks that were thousands of years old. Raw honey can keep for an indefinite amount of time and as long as the container is sealed and free from moisture. There are several reasons why honey lasts forever. One of these is its high acidity level, which prevents the growth of bacteria and other organisms.
Okay, so how do we get the honey? From the bees, of course. Now, the bee is the hardest worker and the most efficient worker from all the species on Earth. Let's have a look at this.
Pollination is the way that plants reproduce. When a worker bee collects nectar and pollen from the flower of a plant, some of the pollen from the female reproductive part of the flower sticks to her body, which then rubs off her when she lands on the male part of another flower.
Okay, but how do the bees turn the nectar and the pollen into honey? Let's have a look.
After the bee has collected the nectar from 150 to 1,500 various flowers, she then stores it in one of her two stomachs. The nectar weighs approximately 70 micrograms, as much as her own weight. This is then transported to the beehive in order to start the production of honey. The bee then begins to process the nectar in her mouth and in her stomach by adding special enzymes which break down the complex sugars present in the nectar and into simple sugars. These simple sugars are less susceptible to crystallization, which makes the honey an extremely stable food against various bacteria, molds, and fungi, and allows it to resist for years without refrigeration.
The important thing to remember is that you should try as much as you can to buy raw honey, pure honey. Now, sometimes it could be very difficult. You might have to find the local producer of honey, maybe in a farm that you know. Because sometimes what we do buy from the supermarkets, it goes through a process. And unfortunately, it loses a lot of its healthy ingredients. Let's have a look.
There are many commercial producers of honey that have no traces of pollen and lack beneficial vitamins and enzymes, among a host of other natural constituents which are removed due to pasteurization and processing. Most golden honey you see at your local grocery is dead and far from the health-promoting powerhouse of its raw, unpasteurized counterpart. Processed honey is not honey at all, and if you desire any kind of health benefits, you must stick to the real stuff. Honey contains natural antioxidants, enzymes, and minerals, including iron, zinc, potassium, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and selenium. Vitamins found in honey also include vitamin B6, thiamine, riboflavin, pantothenic acid, and niacin.
Okay, and what are the health benefits from using honey?
Raw honey is a concentrated source of natural goodness. Benefits include a rich taste, high nutritional benefits, promotes the growth of good bacteria in the intestine, soothes and heals skin wounds, blocks free radicals, helps allergies, reduces homocysteine levels to maintain a healthy heart.
Okay, that's great, but I have another good one for you. It's very good for your skin. Yeah, I use it all the time. Every morning I just put honey together with a bit of lemon juice. I'm actually 75 years old. Yeah, you can't tell? Yeah, because I use honey. Yeah, I'm 60. No, I'm only kidding. Okay, so we pretty much know that honey is the food of the gods, and we know where it comes from, and we know that it never expires. So when you see honey in a supermarket that has an expiry date, you should just be asking questions. Let's have a look at now some of quick tricks how you can work out if it's raw honey or if it's real honey or if it's some sort of substitute. And you know what? There's a lot of pretend honeys that coming. Actually, you know what? My favorite place. I'm sorry, China, but you bring it to yourself. There's a lot of pretend honeys that they made out of corn and all sorts of stuff. And they're just all over there in the market. So you have to be very careful how you choose your honey. Now, there's a lot of great tricks. One of them, my favorite, is to basically take the bottle and then turn it upside down. And you see the bubble. Look at the bubble. See how fast the bubble goes up? Okay? That means that this honey, it actually wasn't too bad. This is real honey. 100% real honey, I can guarantee it. Now, when you turn this one upside down, it will take ages for it to come, the bubble to come to the top, okay? That's a bigger bubble, but if you do it on a smaller one, you can actually see it. It's exactly the same thing. So that's one way to work it out, how quickly the bubble will come up to the top. If it goes very quickly, don't touch it. It will be very bad for you. Instead of being good for you, it will be the opposite. You don't want to eat that, trust me. Not because I'm a Greek. Now, the other way you can actually test it is this. Look at this. Just take a glass of water. Now, when you take the natural honey and you open it, first of all, you can see that it's crystallized. Because it's winter now, you can see how it's crystallizing. That means that this is 100% natural honey. You can smell it. It's out of this world, the smell. I mean, I used to have beehives at my farm in Corfu, and it's incredible. I know exactly how it works. And also inside, you can actually see there's little bits of pollen. And that's important. That is also very good for you. So if it has these little bits of ingredients in there, that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. So we just take a little sample and we just put it in there. Now look at this. It goes straight down the bottom. Okay? And if you try to stir it, it just stays as one big mass of honey down at the bottom. And even if you stir it, it will still be one big mass down the bottom. Now, we've done the same with some other honeys. And look, there's only very little down the bottom, right? And this one here, oh, actually I haven't put any on this one, sorry. Okay, let's try another one. We could try probably this one here, which is not a really good one. Okay. Okay, basically this one here, if you leave it for a little while, I've done it before, and it will just disappear into the water. So what it means, I'm afraid, it's a honey that you have to avoid. It's not very good. There's some other tricks as well. Now, look at this one. If it's pure honey, you can burn it. Look. But if it's not pure, and it's got other ingredients, including water and other things, you cannot burn it. Have a look at this. Another way you can tell if it's real honey, it's by just picking up a little bit, just a drop, and put it on your finger. Now, if it stays as a blob on your finger, look at that. That's it. It stays on your nail, and it doesn't just go everywhere. That's raw. That's real honey. If you do the same thing with this other honey, that it's not so natural, raw or real, you probably find that it would just go everywhere in your finger. So this is the ways you can tell if your honey is real or it's not real. And be careful, because it's very important that what you eat is right. I know there's a lot of misconception out there. Just be very careful. Okay, that's all we had time for this episode. But remember, eat your greens. If you can't, just drink the juice. If you can't drink the juice, put it in some sort of mixture with other fruit. It's really good for you. Remember, any vegetable like that, it would just make this great juice. Then we talked about the honey. Of course, my favorite. I love it. You can't have too much, but you know, every day you can have at least 2 or 3 spoons. It's really good for you. You know what? It can also help you go to sleep. Look at that. That is beautiful. The smell, the taste, everything. And you know, the good honey, you cannot just eat it raw like that. It's just beautiful. Okay, that's all we had for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. See you next week. Oh my God, this is